Confidential podcast. Today's guest is Michelle Pais. She is an absolute rock star in the real estate industry. She's the owner of Signature Realty in New Jersey, one of the top real estate agents in the area. She also has branched out to lifestyle and has her own magazine. Michelle, you built an incredible business and a personal brand. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, of course. Thanks for having me. This is exciting. I'm excited to see you, and this is all good. And I just have to say, I've been watching you grow and all your success, and I remember talking to you about it a couple of years ago, and you've had a vision. A lot of people talk about it, but you actually are doing it. And so I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. And you've been such an inspiration. I have watched you go from starting in real estate and really building a brand. I think you were one of the first people that I've really seen go beyond just business in a professional industry and take it to the next level, leveraging social media, your own personality. So, what advice do you have for people who are ambitious, really good at their jobs, but thinking about ways that they can kind of stand out from the crowd?
That's actually a really good question, and you nailed it when you said to stand out from the crowd. So I believe that there's space for everybody, but you want to be different. So you want to develop a niche, try not to be all things to all people, and then just double down on that. In whatever business you're in, you're a marketer first, and you just want to make sure that everything that you know that you put out there is true, right? So basically, don't try to be all things to all people. And you need to start building your foundation. And that does include being loud. And it's very uncomfortable for some people because they don't want to put, their name on things, or I should say their face on things, and they don't want to be on video. They don't want to be out there. And because of
Especially
fear.
lawyers.
Yes,
They're afraid.
yes.
Like,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
afraid. But honestly, listen, like I said, not everyone's gonna love you, but all you need is some raving fans and really just stay true to yourself, to the purpose, have the vision, and you need to really have the drive to push the mission forward.
What keeps you going? Because now I know from personal experience, it's so much easier said than done. You lose people, you lose relationships to be ambitious and to grow and to continue to say who you are. So, what advice do you have for people who have big dreams or are interested in pursuing their dreams when it gets tough?
It's gonna get tough, and there's no roadmap, right? And there's no blueprint. And I thought, starting out, I didn't really have anyone, that would mentor me and tell me, by the way, this is what's going to happen when you get to a certain level. You're probably not going to have many friends, and you're probably not going to, have that many relationships. And it's sad because, you do see people that are with you for the wrong reasons. And that's probably my biggest lesson and setback, I guess. And something that was completely unexpected is that as you grow, you are going to see people for who they are, and their intentions are not always good. I come from a place where I'm all about, women empowerment. If I can be of help, to me, there's place for everybody in the world. I want everyone to win. And it's just, I think the times of getting tough, you just have to, at the end of the day, you just have to make sure you know who you are. And it's okay if you're not, you know, if you don't have that many friends, or if you're not like Miss Popularity. I've learned that, I think, the long way too, because, when I started in the business, just my background, I was that type of girl that had to, be friends with everybody. And I was like the life of the
Mm.
party, and everybody knew me, and I was so social. And then as I got older, I realized, no, less is more.
Right.
And I think, the best advice I have for you is just keep your circle small and be careful who you let in. And when the timing gets tough, just remember why you're doing it, right? And I promise it's worth it. And the journey is very hard. Everyone loves to see the outcome, but no one understands the journey. And it's hard, but it's worth it. It's worth it at the end of the day. So keep going.
That's why I do this podcast because like Instagram is a highlight reel. We're putting out ads and information on who we are and how we can help people. We're going to put the best of the best. But to
Right.
be a business owner, to be a brand, especially to be a female business owner and female business owner with children, there is so much pressure. And what goes on behind the scenes is something that I think is really important for people to understand that everything has a cost. And sometimes it really is when you're under pressure, it puts pressure on relationships to figure out who are the people that really care about you versus just want to be there for all the good times and the bad. So thank you for being really open and honest about that and sharing. Can you also just tell us a little bit about Signature Realty and the vision that you have? Because I've seen what you've taken and what you've built it. And so I'm excited to hear what your future vision is for the business.
So Signature Realty was born really out of just a need in the industry for when I started out a small mom and pop, and I liked the independent part of it, but I didn't have the best experience. And then I moved on to the big box brokerage, which was too big, too corporate. And then I decided, okay, I really want to have my own signature in the world. So we called it Signature Realty. And I think the idea at the time was to just really not build the biggest brokerage in the world, but build the best, based on just doing the right thing, right? Having people around you that are going to support each other. And because real estate is so competitive, it doesn't have to be,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be cutthroat. So one thing that I wanted was to build a very strong and good culture. And that's something that we have. And I'm very grateful for that because I do not see that often. So it's almost like a aha moment. Okay, this is what we want. We're family, right? But at the same time, we want to make sure that, we do stand out and we're the luxury brokerage. And that's that was, something that I set out to do is to just be known as a luxury brand. And I put everything, when it comes to marketing and everything that I put out there, I give it my all. And it shows in from the way you present yourself, from the marketing materials, the way, you talk, the way you carry yourself, all the way down to the postcard in the mail. And and I think that we've attracted people to the brand based on, we're not just a regular real estate brokerage. We're not just salespeople. We're all business owners, and we really go above and beyond to teach people how to become, the CEO of their own business. Because real estate is a commission business. So you kind of are the boss, right? And that's what makes us very different.
Yes, please tell us the vision.
You know what? It's not to be the biggest. We're not trying to open up everywhere. We're not trying to franchise. We're not trying, we're busy in New Jersey. New Jersey has to keep us busy. And we like where we're going right now. We are growing agent count, but again, we're not just growing just for the sake of growing. It's very strategic. All our offices that we operate out of, we own. So we're really big on owning our own real estate. And it's just try to, continue the culture, continue to grow the brand. I think, we've been doing this now. Signature Realty is about, I think actually we just celebrate our 15th year anniversary. So we're well known, and we're probably one of the largest independently owned brokerages out there. So I don't know. I mean, the plans always change, but so far we've come a long way, and we're really proud of everything that we've done this
Well,
far.
what I've learned is that a business is a mental creation of the creator. It is an extension of the person. So, and you've been a great role model in that, in us figuring out how are we going to create our law firm. And I've really leaned into allowing myself to create a law firm that is, I'm a woman, I'm a parent, I like fashion, I like retail, so and luxury. So we've created this brand that is almost an extension of me. And I think about Steve Jobs and all of these high level CEOs that have created incredible companies. And they are mental creations of their creators. So I think you've done a really good job being authentic to who you are, and leaning into that has played off because there's so many companies that are just trying to, especially lawyers, right, in the law industry, legal industry and real estate, that just think that there's one way to do things. Like this, here's this box, and we all need to look alike and be the same. But when you come from a place of creating and authenticity, it's really cool to see what you can build.
It's funny. You had asked me what my vision is. I was talking to what my projects are in the future, and I was actually talking to my husband the other day. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go into law school and just become a lawyer. I've always, by the way, wanted to be a lawyer. That was my initial plan, and then real estate was my backup plan, and have things have a way of working out, I guess. But there's something about law, and I don't want to go out there and just, be a lawyer. I don't think I just want to go to law school, Past the bar, no more than the average person.
But you know what's funny, Michelle, is like I remember the one thing that I think law school really teaches you is it's like mental boot camp. So if there's a question, it's not, oh, I don't know. It's I have to figure this out. I need to, even if I don't know the answer, there isn't an answer. I need to craft an answer or what I think should be the answer. So I'm all for it, girl. Like there's a bunch of the great schools in New Jersey and New York.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
all
see.
for it.
Let's see. Let's see.
Okay, so I could sit and chat with you all day, Michelle. The last thing we wanted to pick your brain on is this. What piece of advice would you give the version of yourself 10 years ago?
Another great question. You know what? There was just I don't know if you saw on Instagram,
Oh, the
2016,
20 to 16 trend? Yeah. Yeah.
2016. So that was 10 years ago. And I got to be honest, at that point in my life, I had a vision of where I saw myself at in 10 years from now, where I saw the company at, and everything pretty much aligned. And that it was a combination of, yes, I manifested it, but I obviously put in the work. I know I wanted to be married. I know I wanted to, be a mom. I know I wanted to have, a pretty big business and also enjoy the quality time and the family moments and take time for myself and be present. And I mean, I got to say, like, it's just so crazy how things work out. But 10 years ago, I manifested all these things and here we are. And it's been all so far, it's all been, it's all happened. So,
If there's
20 years ago, different conversation, but 10 years ago, it's crazy because I literally went back, I'm like, oh wow, let me see where we were in 2016. And it was just, it was actually pretty mind blowing how everything
It is, and
happened.
we're supposed to go back and because there's always bigger and better and more goals, right? Especially for ambitious people. But you are supposed to go back and not compare yourself to where you want to go, but always compare yourself to where you started. And I think like moments like that can really give us the opportunity to be grateful and just reflective and proud. So I think that's amazing. And there's a theme of this conversation, and it's vision have being really clear about your vision and then going out and working towards that vision.
Love it.
Michelle, thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone, this was Privilege and Confidential, and we'll see you soon.